1337 Ravage asks,
do you listen mostly to classic metal? What do you think of some of the other metal genres? Thrash metal, death metal, black metal, doom metal? I never asked for this.
I listen to nothing but show tunes and Korean girl bands, you presumptuous ass clown. Never judge a book by its cover. Slade12345 asks,
GameStop and Deus Ex. I assume you've already heard this, but what do you think about GameStop removing on-live codes from the boxes of Deus Ex Human Revolution? Are you really surprised at this?
Let's see, nigh satanic corporate entity lifting the finger at another nigh satanic corporate entity for not bottling enough fucking baby tears? Does it sound like that surprises me? Alright, I'd be surprised if the irate gamer learned how to pronounce the name of his own fucking show. I'd be surprised if Mass Effect 3 doesn't suck 20 penises simultaneously. GameStop being assholes? That doesn't even almost enter the immediate vicinity of maybe possibly having a chance of surprising me.
Gumskinski asks, reviews. Are you going to review more lesser-known games? Preferably Perfect Dog, since you did mention that you tolerated it in one of your reviews, and I would like to see why. Or are you just going to stick to the more recent and popular title?
I'll be honest, I pretty much do whatever the fuck I want. If I have a chance to review a newer title, then I do that. If I feel like doing a retrospective, I do that. I throw in a movie review once every, 4 or 5 episodes and a vlog whenever I'm feeling, in a pontificating mood. No offense to my fellow Rageaholics, because you are indeed badass, but my videos are mainly for my own enjoyment. I don't make any cash off them. If I could, I would, but in the meantime, I'll just review whatever the fuck catches my fancy until such time as they cease to entertain me, basically. To answer your question about Perfect Dark, I actually like both Perfect Dark games. That's right, bitches. I even liked Zero. And I also find it hilarious that Mag for the PS3 made this big fucking deal about figuring out some way to have 1 billion people in a single match simultaneously, when Perfect Dark Zero basically had that science down back in 2005. You could have the population of a small Slavic nation in a single match at one time, but I didn't see Rare base the entire motherfucking premise of the game around that. Leave it to Sony to make a big deal out of repackaging the same shit we've been playing for half a decade. Must have picked that fucking trick up from the Madden franchise.
Burning Raids asks,
from Local Idiot, 1. What is your most anticipated game of 2011 other than Skyrim? For me, Red Orchestra.
Deus Ex Human Revolution was pretty much it. Unless Eidos Montreal plans to reveal and release Thief 4 in the same goddamn week, then there's pretty much nothing I'd touch a 10-foot pole with, aside from Skyrim. And even Skyrim's pissing me off with the glowing objective trail spell and the dumbing down of the armor yet a fucking again.
2. What are your opinions on RO2? It seems like the most realistic, yet still maintaining fun WW2 shooter to date. I just hope Tripwire releases a beta.
Oh, I'm sorry. I experience a narcoleptic reflex whenever somebody mentions a first-person shooter. Regardless of its quality, I slip into an insensate coma. Yeah, 3 words. Best disease ever.
2. Can you do a review of The Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall? It's my favorite game of all time.
I'll get around to an Elder Scrolls retrospective at some point here. I might even include Battlespire and Redguard if I can get the crotchety old bastards running. But for sure, I'll be reviewing the 4 existing games.
3. I encourage you to actually review Demon's Souls. It's my main reason of owning a console PC gamer here, and you calling it a Diablo clone in a different perspective is bullshit!
No, Demon's Souls is bullshit. It's a dungeon crawler with a story that's completely MIA. Masochistic shitheads play it until their hands fall off because of the difficulty. These motherfuckers need to channel that self-destructive energy into something worthwhile, like recreational drug use or serial murder. It's like, with how bad JRPGs have gotten lately, people were blown away by the game designers simply not shitting themselves. Not being bad does not make you good, okay? It's a dungeon crawler, and not a particularly inventive one.
3.
Okay, first off, numbers don't work that way. 2 doesn't have a sequel, unless you're Final Fantasy, in which case, fuck off!
If this gets on your QA videos with the fat guy, use a Scarface accent to read it.
Huh, I didn't realize there was an accent for overrated.
Fatality65 asks 6 fucking questions, so I'm only going to answer 4 of them. Questions, dear Razor Fist. 1. What are your thoughts on Mike permanently killing off Hellboy with no sort of way of him coming back to life like any other comic character? Is it sad to see him die and not coming back? In my opinion, it's depressing.
I was never a Hellboy fan personally, so I react to it in pretty much the same way I react to any death.
2. What are your thoughts on Movie Bob / Game Overthinker?
I think he should be on camera a whole lot fucking less. There's a reason Jabba the Hutt is only featured in the first third of Return of the Jedi. Okay, if you get my hideously ugly, morbidly obese, not as literate as he thinks he is drift.
3. Why do you think a lot of Japanese people say that us stupid American can't do very good cosplay?
I don't know, I'm not a stupid American, but clearly they're correct because, as we all know, the Japanese invented the ancient art of wearing fucking costumes. The rest of the world hasn't been dressing up in costumes on Halloween, and before that, Samhain, for centuries beyond count. How dare we, Baka Gaijin, encroach upon the sacred right of dressing up like faggy Epicene walking comb-overs with more buckles than personality traits? Clearly we're the assholes, even though 99.99999% of all anime is blatantly ripped off from superior bande dessinée comics from France and Belgium. Clearly, it's we who are the plagiarists.
4. What are your thoughts on the rumored 4th Smash Bros. Title, Super Smash Bros. Strife?
I hope it fucking happens. I love me some Super Smash Brothers. It better be all Nintendo characters this time around, though. I mean, because watching Solid Snake running around in the Smash Brothers world is goddamn ridiculous. Kind of like making a stealth game where you wind up firing a rocket launcher and a giant robot at the end. I mean, who the fuck would play that, right?
Epic Slice of Cake asks,
What do you think of America's politicians right now? Not about liberals or conservatives, just in general.
Personally, I hate sentences that begin with the word personally. I am of the spectacularly unpopular opinion that liberals and conservatives are actually your friend. Yeah, sit there, process that for a moment. Because, see, my opinion is, nobody has any choice when they get to the ballot box. Everyone struggles so valiantly in politics to convince us of how similar they are to their esteemed colleague across the aisle, that at the end of the day, what we really have is a glorified one-party rule. When I get into the ballot box, I want a liberal and a conservative to be on the ballot, because the word for that phenomenon, folks, is fucking choice. Some situations call for a fiscal and social conservative, like the late Barry Goldwater. Other situations call for a larger government social liberal, like the great Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Thaddeus Stevens was a right-wing extremist. You know what he did? He freed the motherfucking slaves. Woodrow Wilson was a left-wing extremist, and he helped to defeat isolationism and helped bring an end to the First World War. So stop demonizing people like Sarah Palin for being far right-wing conservatives. She's supposed to be a fucking nut job. Just like Nancy Pelosi's supposed to be a far left nut job who looks like Nosferatu fuck Joan Rivers. Without a right wing and a left wing, we as a nation are condemned to a tyranny of partisan homogeny. If both sides move to the middle, then there's only one party left, folks, and there's a word for that: dictatorship. John McCain, take your middle-of-the-road, nonpartisan platitudes and jam them so far up your ass that even your Vietnamese captors won't be able to find them. And on that in no way controversial note, I'd like to say to my buddy Ace Salieri that I hope you recover soon so that we can do some more of these together. Get better, you magnificent bastard. Good luck, and God fucking speed.